we'll do a test run for balancing equations, since that was asked real quick. Let's see.
Write down all the elements.
Okay, what are my elements?
Carbon.
Yeah.
Hydrogen, oxygen.
He didn't tell me like he was selling.
Oxygen.
Okay. And then,
You're gonna see how many you have.
okay. So on the reactant side, how many do I have?
2 carbon,
On the product side,
6 hydrogen. Oh,
Just
2
one.
1, yeah, 1 hydrogen,
Okay.
or 1 carbon.
hydrogens on the reactant side,
6.
and on the product side,
2.
oxygens on the reactant side,
3,
3.
and on the product side.
3.
3.
Okay, is it balanced? Are we done?
No.
No.
Okay, what do I need to do?
You need to balance out the equation.
Carbon.
Add it. Put a 2 on the product side. On
Product
the
side.
front of the C.
Okay. How many oxygens do I have now?
5. No, 4.
Oh, 5. Right, yeah.
5, right? So it's 2 times 2 plus 1,
Mhm.
5. Okay, am I done?
No.
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 What next?
Add 3 to the hydrogen on the product side.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that's,
6.
6.
and how many oxygens?
7.
7.
Okay. Am I done now?
No.
Add a 3 in front of the.
That's the only sections you guys need because I have like 5 extra large left.
Just
Pretty much.
5? That's all you have left? Just 5
They
extra
made me
large?
shirt, so I'm like, but I almost give everything away. So I'm like, all right, cool. But they're making some cool ones because I'm gonna start a nonprofit.
Okay, so then that gives me how many oxygens?
7.
7.
And we're gonna get a nonprofit started too, right? Okay,
Balance.
it's balanced, piece of cake.
Mhm.
You guys all be able to do this with one eye closed, right?
No.
Okay, so let's talk about Sig Figs, because that's where we left off last. See what you guys remember on Sig Figs. Let's see. Okay, so just for kicks and giggles, how many Sig Figs do I have for this first number?
4.
4,
What about this number?
3,
2.
2.
Oh, no, wait. 2.
Okay, this number,
6,
6.
this number,
3,
this number.
1,
1. No, 2, because it has a decimal.
That's correct. Good job. This number,
2. 6.
No.
6.
It has 6 because of the decimal.
Oh, shoot.
You tricked some of us.
did. Okay, so now let's do addition and we'll get the answer and figure out how many Sig Figs that they have. So how would I do that?
You line up the
Add them up.
Add them up.
Yep.
Okay.
don't you have to figure out
Where it's significant.
But you have to find out where that's the. I can't remember what he said yesterday.
We don't need to round up before, do we?
What was that?
We round up afterwards, right?
Yeah, you round up afterwards, so you could actually add them up. That'll be fine. You can add them up if you want to do that first. 9.
Five.
Okay. So,
Mommy.
are we done?
Hey.
You have to round up.
Mommy.
Okay. So, how am I going to determine where I round up to? Am I just going to pick randomly?
Number on the right next to the decimal.
Number on the
You round
right.
up.
On the
Make-
left.
Make your lines.
Okay. So I need to make my lines. Why do I need to make my lines?
To see which is our significant.
Wait, is that a comma in the first number or is that a decimal?
That's the decimal. Stop insulting my writing. The decimal. Michelle, I know that's you.
It was.
You want to find the smallest number with the most significant numbers.
Okay, so let me draw my lines to help me find the one that has complete significance. So we have a line here, just in case you have somebody who's colorblind. We have a line here. We have a line here. Eat that shit. And we have a line here.
Why do you only have lines there? Why not between the 7 and the 2 and the top one?
Why not between the 7 and the 2? Because it's based upon everyone that has where you have significant figures, right? So for instance, this first one, this represents the purple line.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's the purple line. So where are we uncertain about the number? Where's the uncertainty at?
Oh, the 2.
It's right after the 2. So the 2 we know is okay, but the number after the 2, right? Which we don't know. We don't know what the number is after here, right? Because it's not there. Is that right?
Okay.
Okay. Now what about 1.0? Both of those numbers are significant, so we draw the line right after it because we don't know anything about the number after.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then for 30.2017, it would be after the 7 because after the 7, we don't know what that number is, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And then 15.1, it's after that 1.
Okay.
Okay. 10 point, right? So then we don't know what this number is.
Okay.
And then 2.20000, it's after the 0. Okay, so what am I going to use? Which line am I going to use for my determinant line?
The clover.
Round one.
Yeah.
Brown one. Okay, so all of these get dropped. Okay, so that means I am using this guy to determine whether I round up or leave it alone.
So do you round up in this one?
I don't know. You tell me. Do I round up on this one?
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
It's a round down.
7 is greater the number after it is greater than 5, so we would round up, right?
So is it because it's greater than 5? What if it was a 1?
Then we would leave it as is.
No, but we're using this as our determinant. Wait. So you guys understanding what I'm asking? This line here determines, this is our determining line, right? So this lets us know that these numbers here on this side are significant, right? So this guy, we need to determine whether or not we're going to round these numbers up or down.
So we basically ignore the other numbers
Down.
after it.
Okay, so somebody says we round down. So you're saying that I'm going to make it to 59? Is that what you're saying?
I thought you said
No,
if
we
was
keep it at 59.5.
leave it alone.
Yeah, we leave it alone if it's a 5.
So we leave it alone if it's 5?
That's
Yes.
it. Yes,
Are you sure?
Would we round up
round
if
it.
there's
Yes.
numbers
No,
traveling?
I don't think so.
We
Yeah, we
round
do
up at 7, right?
We
Well,
round
that's what I
up.
was asking. Do we ignore the 737 or do we just focus on the 5 and ignore the other one?
Would we
No,
round up because it's a
So
12?
my interpretation of it yesterday was if it's exactly
If it's
5, you
yeah.
leave it. But if it's a number behind it, then you round up. So you round up.
That's right. So you
That's what he
round up.
said yesterday.
So then the answer would be
6.
either 60 with the decimal point, or you would write it with a scientific notation, 6.0 times 10. Or 10 to the 1.
Can we just put 50 dot 60?
What do you mean by 50.60?
I mean 50 60 instead of doing the 6.0 times 10 to the first power.
Okay, so say that again. Could you put 50?
So you know how you said that we will round up the 57 to 60?
Yep.
Can we just leave it like that, or
But you-
oh, no, you're doing.
Did that answer your
Yes,
question?
it's because yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay, because we have two significant figures. So since this is the number that we're using to determine whether we round up or round down. So this is a 5. So the rule is, if this is a 5, if there's numbers following it, we're going to round up. If there's no numbers following it, they're all zeros, then we just leave it alone. Then it would be 59.
Any
Does
number
that-
following, even if it
Are
was
there
like
numbers? Are there numbers following it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let's test this out since there's a little fuzziness. So let's say we had 59.5000002 59.51 59.3 59.7 and 59.500. Okay, so we want two significant figures. So if I want two significant figures, what am I going to use to determine if I round up or round down?
The one after the decimal point.
The one after the decimal point. So the 5.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so am I going to round up or round down in this
You're
case?
gonna stay.
You would leave it
You're gonna leave it. It's gonna
because
stay.
it has a 5.
And also because it has a 0 next to it.
0.
But if you keep looking, isn't there any numbers following it?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, there's-
But that number's not enough to make it round up because the 2 would make, if you don't round up a 2, so you can't add it.
So if I had something that was perfectly balanced, because that 5 represents a perfect balance, right? And I add just a little bit of dirt to that perfect balance, what's going to happen?
goes up.
It's gonna go up.
It's going to go up. So that's exactly what's going to happen here. So even that little bit of dirt makes it go up. So this answer would be 60. What about this guy?
60.
60.
We round up.
What about this guy?
59.
59, yeah.
Yeah, 59.
What about this guy?
60.
60.
60.
And what about this guy?
50.
59.
59.
Questions? Concerns? Cash? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and erase. And then we'll start with multiplication. Oops, maybe. So let's say we have so now for multiplication, we do something a little bit different. All we do is we take the number that has the smallest number of significant figures. And then that's going to be our number of significant figures. Now, which one of these have the smallest number of significant figures? How many does 2.00 have?
3.
3.
What about this guy?
2.
And this guy?
1.
1.
Are you sure?
No, 5.
What is that? Is that a comma or?
That's not making fun of my decimal point. When I make a comma, I do this.
Oh, good. Okay. Good to know. 5.
Okay, so that one has 5. Okay. So in that case, this answer would be what?
The 7. 7.0.
What would be the answer?
You're using 7.0.
2
right?
times
Oh, be 14.
2 Sig Figs, right? Piece of pig?
Wait. So you just multiplied the 7.0 times 2? That's it? Or
That's right. It's multiplication, right? Isn't that what you do for
Yeah.
multiplication?
But you're saying that if you take the one that has the least sig figs in it, and that's how many sig figs the answer would be?
That is correct.
Do you have to put a period at the end of 14 or do you just leave it as 14?
You can leave it as 14 because that's 2 Sig Figs.
Okay. But if you were to put the decimal, would that be incorrect?
No, it wouldn't be incorrect.
It'd
That
still
would be
be
correct.
sig figs.
Okay, so
Okay, can
let's
you go over it again? You lost me.
okay. So let's say we have 3.000 times 2.00000 times 5. Okay, so how many sig figs does this one have, Daisy?
4.
What about this guy here?
1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
That's a,
6.
okay. And then what about this guy?
1.
Okay, so now you write sig figs here, so we'll know that that's sig figs. So if I multiply this across, 2 times 3, or 3 times 2,
6.
6.
times 5.
30.
And that's it. So
And there's one
So-
sig fig.
How many sig figs did I have?
1.
1. So then if I write just 30, would that be correct?
Yes.
But what if I wrote this?
No, that's not correct.
That's right. That one would not be correct. Because
then
we
what-
only want 1 sig fig.
So then what's the purpose of writing the 4 and the 6 and the 1 at the bottom? We kind of that's just like, so we know how many 6 figures are? Or?
That's right. Because you want to find the one that has the least number of sig figs. It's just so that you know this guy has 4 significant figures. This guy has 2 significant figures. that guy has one significant figure, so then our answer is going to be one significant figure.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so let's make it a little more challenging because we want, I wanted to work you in with something easy, right? So let's do this. Now the same thing happens with division. Times. Actually, let's do this. Okay.
Answer is 33.
So you said the answer is 33.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How many sig figs should I have?
You're supposed to have 2, 4.
One.
One.
You should have
So
2.
does 30, how many does 33 have?
Two.
Oh, that has 2.
So
And
then,
then you should have 1.
what do I need to do?
Erase it.
Round down to 30.
Okay, so the answer should be 30, right? 30, 30. And that's one sig fig, right? So then we use that to determine whether we round up or we leave it alone. So we leave that 3 alone and then we just drop that to a 0. Piece of cake?
Yes.
Why do we run down to 30?
Because you're trying to get one significant figure.
That is
And
correct.
the 0 cancels out.
That's right. The 0 isn't significant, right?
So the
Unless we
ultimate
make
goal-
it significant by putting a
So
decimal.
if the answer would have been like 35, for example, then do you round up to 40 just to get the one sig fig?
You tell me, do we round up to 40? What is the rule for rounding?
If it's 35, it stays the same. If it's a 5, it stays the same, doesn't it?
So then you would say it'll be 30, right?
Okay.
So,
So
but if it was
36.
35.1, do we round up or do we round down? I round up or leave it alone.
So why didn't we round down to 14 on the top? We just left it at 14. Why couldn't it be 10?
Because we needed 2 significant figures.
Oh, so that's how we determine how many numbers we're gonna have?
That's right, significant
Like the
figures. How many-
lowest significant figure, that's how many significant figures we should determine as our answer.
That's right, for multiplication. That is correct.
Okay, I get it.
Oops. Any questions?
Okay. I'm not really getting, I understand dropping it down, dropping the 3 and making it 30, but that's not kind of like really what, you're just trying to make it fit basically as far as the amount of sig figs are concerned.
That is correct.
So we could do whatever and make it fit, right?
You can't do whatever. No, you can't do whatever. No, I'm just gonna put extra zeros here. No, there's rules to it, right? So it's the same rules that we've talked about in terms of rounding. So if it's one significant figure, that means that this number, only that first number is going to be significant. So then we use this number here to determine, do we round it up or do we leave it alone? Or we
Okay.
say the numbers that are following it. We use that to determine whether we round it up or leave it alone. So this is a 3. So we know 3 is less than 5. Is it 3 less than 5?
Yep.
So then in that case, we're going to just leave that number alone. And then we'll round it down to 30.
Okay.
This here, in this case, if it was 35, we'd use that number there. It's 5 exactly. So what do we know about 5 exactly?
You leave it alone.
You would
You
go
don't
up.
round up. You don't
That's
You
round
round
up.
down.
Yeah, that's right. And then
You
if it was 35.1, what would it be in this case?
35.
It would be 35 if we
Mhm.
only wanted one significant figure.
It will be 30.
It would be
You round down to 30?
Would we
Oh,
round
because
down?
one lower than 5, yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, this is 5 plus you have a spec, a 0.1 added onto it. Is that greater than 5?
No.
Yeah, but then you go to
Oh,
40.
1
Just
greater than
round it
5.
up.
So then we would round it up. So this one would be 40. You guys get that?
Yeah, a little bit. That kind of just confused me. The
More time.
0.1. Okay.
More time.
You want to try one more? Or are you feeling confident?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Dr. Henry.
Yep.
So just to clarify, okay, so
Okay, so
we already know if it's 33, that's a 30, but I remember you said something about if it's 5, then you leave it alone. So let's say that were to, like what Chris said earlier, like if that were to equal 35, it would stay 35, wouldn't it? Or
No, because we want one significant figure, right? We use that 5 to determine whether or not we're going to round it up or we're going to round it down, meaning that we're going to drop it down to 0 and leave that first number, right? Because we're looking, in this case, how many significant figures am I going to have?
I'm not sure.
1.
1, yeah.
Okay, so because this is the lowest number of significant figures. With multiplication and division, we always want to find the one that has the lowest number of significant figures. That's going to be what we're going to use to determine our significant figures. In this case, we're only going to have one significant figure. So that means that we only want one real number and the rest of it has to be 0, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
so in the case, if the answer was 33, then we use the 3 to determine whether or not we round up or round down. Is 3 greater than 5?
No.
No, 3 isn't greater than 5. So that means that we're going to round down to 30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if it was 35 exactly,
Mm-hmm.
5 is that breaking point, right? If
Yeah.
5 exactly, what do we do?
We go down or?
We go down, that's right.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then if it's 35.1, that means that 5.1, is 5.1 greater than 5?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So in that case, we'd go up to 40.
Okay. Okay. Because I
Okay.
was like, oh, yeah, I was like, if it's 35, that should be fine. Okay, but thank you so much. Yeah, that made more sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
So let's see. Let's do another one. Okay. So how many Sig Figs should we have?
Lower should be 1, right?
1.
Okay. So why? Why should it be 1?
Because 100.
100.
It's 100 only has one sig fig.
That is correct. Okay, so what is the answer?
Five.
5,000.
5,500.
So 5,000, right? Because you only need one significant figure.
So the answer would be 5,000.
Is there a decimal on that? 500,000? Okay.
Now, when I make them real fat, you always complain, is that a comma?
Would it be 55?
It's still 5,000 because it only has one sig fig.
So
Or you could round up. No, you can't. You'd have to make it 5,000. Oh.
so my answer would be 5,000, right?
Yeah.
Piece of cake?
Barely.
Can we
Okay.
do one more, Dr. Henry?
Sure,
Sorry, I just got home from work, so.
that's okay. Let's see.
Are we gonna see problems like this on the test?
What do you think?
Yes.
Yes.
We can use our calculators, right?
That is correct.
You said we have to upload, like if we're doing this on another piece of paper, we need to upload it. Are you gonna have something on the, like a modules to where we do it, or is it gonna be on the test?
It's going to be in the modules because if it's on the test, then I have to download it first. But
Oh,
if you
okay,
just-
okay, yeah.
So it'll be a whole little module so that you'll
Okay.
upload at the end of the exam.
So this one would have two significant figures, right?
That is correct. Two significant figures.
Would it be 55?
So is the answer 6? It's 55.5. So will the answer be 60?
So the answer is right now is 55.5. That's the real answer. So if there's two sig figs, what am I going to do?
You're gonna drop the last 5.
Okay. So
So
then
you
my
gotta
answer would be
55.
55. So what if I did this?
Would be 60, right?
So in that case, it would be 60. Because then you'd have another 5. So in that case, it would be. We want to put our decimal point there or significant figure or scientific notation.
6.0 times 10.
Yep. Piece of cake.
Yeah.
Maybe a cupcake.
So are you gonna want us to write it just like 60 or like the scientific method, like the 60, how you did it right now?
Either one would be
6.0
fine.
times 10.
Yep.
Okay.
Either one would be fine.
Okay.
So if in the scientific notation, so we just move the decimal in front of the first zero, and then depending on how many zeros, that's how many exponent, like the exponent.
Yep. So let's do a refresher on the scientific notation. Let's see. Can I erase?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Clear. Okay, so if we wanted to make this, change this to scientific notation, 1, 2, 3, 10 to the 3. You put our decimal right after that number, so you'd always have one integer there. 3, 5. So this is it in scientific notation. What about this guy?
You also move it to the left 3 times.
1, 2,
So the
3.
same.
But are they?
Yes.
How many
because-
sig figs does the first one have?
4. Wait,
Oh,
Does the first one have 4?
no,
It has 3.
It has 3. Okay, so how many do you have here?
5.
3.
5.
We have 5. So we want to make sure to have 5 significant figures. So we'd have to write down 2.350. 5 significant figures. What about here? This number.
and just 2.
2 sig figs, but move it over 1, 2, 3. So then
2.3 times 10 to the
Second.
3.
1, 2, 3. Right, so 10 to the third, right?
Yeah.
And the last one?
2 times
2
10.
times 10 to the third.
Okay. What about this?
To record how my puppy escapes her playpen.
And here comes my cat helping me.
We both have negative.
Oh, I set up my
Okay, so this first one. In this case, we're going to be moving the decimal in the other direction, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's
2.3. Is it 10 to the minus 4?
10 to the minus 4.
And then 2.3. Is you add the 0, 0?
0, 0, that's right. They're significant. Okay, what about this guy?
You move it over twice,
Okay.
1, 2,
and then it's 2.30 times 10 to the negative second.
This guy?
You move it 8 times. So 2.3 times 10 to the negative 8. Okay.
Okay, piece of cake?
These are.
So the little, so like the -8 is gonna be how many times we moved it, right?
That's right. So it becomes a positive number if we're moving it in this direction to the left. And then if we're moving it to the right, it's a negative number. So it's 10 to the -8 here. And if we're going this direction, then it's 10 to the third in this case, right? Piece of cake? You ready to move on?
These are.
Yeah. Good. Okay, clear. So did you guys go over all the different units and stuff like that? With coal? No, maybe?
No.
Okay.
Not me, because I don't, like, those hours don't work for me.
No, he was in class one day for me.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm kind of struggling with the conversions actually with the because I'm trying to use this paper and I feel like it's like all over the place, like information. So my mind doesn't, or my eyes don't know where to really look and how to utilize it properly. So I feel like I'm gonna lose a lot of time trying to like convert random things. So I'm gonna need a lot of help with that.
Okay, so let's see if I can pull up that paper. So you guys know that all of your handouts that were sent to you, or if you guys are at Hartnell, that they're all located in the resources. So your periodic table and conversion sheets, all of that is located under modules and resources in the resource tab. So let me pull up my modules. Can you guys see my modules?
Yeah.
So there's a tab that says resources. So you have your periodic table, your polyatomic ion table, you have your conversion sheet. Okay, so this is the conversion sheet. So the best way of learning how to use it, it's real simple to use actually.
I want to learn.
Okay, so this here basically tells you things that you're going to be working with, right? Liters, pints, quarts, gallons. So what are those guys? Liters, pints, quarts, gallons. Are they mass? Are they volume? Are they distance?
Volume.
Are they money? So they're volume. So anytime that you're thinking about volume, you know you're going to come down to here. What about kilograms, ounces, pounds?
Okay, wait, actually, so you said, to digress a little, you said the bottom's volume. So does that mean that 1 liter equals 2.113 pints equal, and then like one,
correct.
so 1 liter also equals 0.264 gallons?
No, yeah, 0.264 gallons, yes.
Equals 1 liter.
Yep.
Okay, because sometimes I feel like it's kind of confusing because it'll give you like it'll give you like it's the given inside of the math problem, but I feel like it's a little different than what I'm viewing on here.
No, it's the same one. It's the same way. But see, the thing is they're saying in this case that 1 liter equals, in this case, 1.057 quarts.
Okay.
So if we're changing liters into quarts, we're going to use this equivalency. If we're changing liters into pints, then we go 1 liter is equal to 2.113 pints.
Okay.
All right. Are you with me?
I am.
Anyone else? Are you guys with me? Okay,
Yes, we're with you.
good. Okay, so let's talk about some units. I'm not sure. So you guys are familiar with the metric system?
No.
Okay, so we've talked about scientific notation, right? Are you feeling comfortable
Yes.
with scientific notation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay, so let's go ahead and convert these into scientific notation. Let's see, who am I going to pick on?
The 3.672199 times 10 to the 7th? 10 to the 7th?
Are you sure?
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6.
6.
Okay, what about this guy?
Will be 4.61.
Negative
Right.
3.
Times 10 to the negative 3.
1, 2,
-4.
5.
Negative
No.
4.
-3.
1,
1, 2,
2,
3,
3,
4.
4.
2,
Oh,
3.
And go to
3.
the 4.
yeah, you're right. You're right, guys.
Piece of
That's
cake?
where we're moving the decimal to.
That's
Mhm.
right.
It's how many times we're moving it over is what the number's going to be.
In my brain, I was thinking I move it all the way pretty much to the furthest on the left. So in reverse, I was trying to move it all the way the furthest to the right. That's why I was thinking moving it there, but yeah,
Okay,
I seen the error of my ways.
good. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so now we're going to go and convert scientific notation to decimal format. So how am I going to do this?
You're gonna put 11 zeros in front of the, or 10.
Okay, so you're saying I'm going to move this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So then I'll have 0, 0, 0, 0, 0,
You move it the other way.
0, 0, 0, 0, 3, 349. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about this guy?
You'd put zeros after.
You put 4 zeros after the 16.
4 zeros? Are you sure?
Two.
Mm-mm.
So that's 1,
You're gonna add
2, 3, 4. So I add 2 zeros, right? So I go 5.
5.1600.
Well, I was gonna say, maybe you guys should work on my salary. You could just add 4 zeros to that. I'll be happy with it. I wouldn't argue. The company you work for may argue quite a bit, but. Okay, questions, concerns, Cash.
No.
No.
So this here in my notes, you can actually download them. They're actually on the module site as well. You can download the notes. It actually tells you how to use your calculator to do exponents and not. Everybody's calculators are a little bit different. What I recommend is that you go to YouTube, type in your calculator, how to use, because a lot of times if you plug it in wrong, your calculator is going to give you the wrong answer. Right?
Right.
Okay, so when we're talking about units, units are very, very important in chemistry and pretty much any type of science. Because if you tell me I have 5, what is that, $5? Is that 5 boyfriends? Is that 5 wives? Is that 5 toes? 5 miles? So I don't know what you have. So units are very, very important. So anytime that you're writing something, you need to make sure what the units are, right? So if we're talking about 50 minutes, right? So express 50 minutes in seconds. So I want minutes. Minutes is what type of units?
Time.
Time.
So if I'm asking a question for how long does it take to go poop, what are you going to give me? Are you going to give me volume? Like liters?
No, it would be time.
You're going to give me time, right?
Yeah.
So 50 minutes. How can I change 50 minutes into seconds?
Convert,
Times 60.
convert it.
I love when people tell me, how do you convert it? Well, how do you convert it?
Divided by 3,600 seconds per minute per hour thing.
There's 3,600 seconds per minute?
60 seconds.
No, seconds.
Yeah,
60 seconds. per
second.
minute.
50 times.
It's 300. 3,000.
So there's 60 seconds per 1 minute, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So if there's 60 seconds per 1 minute, I like drawing my little table here to make me be disciplined. So I want to get rid of minutes. So what am I going to put on the bottom?
Minute. 1 minute.
1. So I can cross out.
Okay. So by default, putting 60 seconds on top. And so I get 300 seconds. How many Sig Figs should I have?
1.
Okay. So the other thing that you guys want to keep in mind is that equivalencies, 60 seconds per 1 minute, those are called equivalencies, right? So you're saying that they're equal. 60 seconds equals 1 minute, an equivalency. Equivalencies don't affect your number of significant figures.
Are we
Okay.
choosing significant figure based on the unit? I mean, based on the quantity, based on the value?
So it would be based upon the value, yes.
Okay, so since there's 50, that's 1.
That's right.
Okay.
It's not 3,000.
Yeah, it's 3,000.
3,000.
See, somebody's going to do that. Thank you. I was just testing you, keeping you on your toes.
The homework has like more difficult problem than this one. And like, I think it requires like a couple different conversions to get to what it wants.
Yeah.
Should we do one of those?
And your point,
Yeah.
no, we're building up to it.
Oh, okay.
Relax, breathe.
Cool, because the homework, it just jumps right into it, so.
Yeah, that's because we should have already gone over this, and I think we did, but it's like we forget stuff along the way, right?
Okay.
So I know I did one conversion for you that was kind of complicated. You guys looked at me like I was selling drugs or something. Okay, so the oldest horse racing track in the United States is the 8-furlong Pleasantation Fairground Racetrack in California. What is the length of the track in rods? They give us a little more information. 0.025 furlong is equal to 1 rod. So how would I set this guy up?
Put 0.025 furlong.
So what is my given?
Is
What
that
are they
right?
giving
No.
Talk louder, Miss Dr. Henry.
I said, what are they giving me?
You 8 furlongs and 1 rod.
Okay, so we're saying 8 furlongs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's our given, 8 furlongs. 8 furlongs. Okay, now what is my equivalency?
0.025
0.025
rod.
is equal to 1 rod.
So you put 1 rod on the top or on the bottom?
I'm asking you. That's what I'm supposed to ask you. You're not supposed to ask me that.
If
You're gonna put the furlongs on the bottom because you're trying to find the rods.
Okay.
So furlongs on the bottom. And rods on top.
Mm-hmm.
$320.
Oops.
Rods.
Thank you. So how many Sig Figs should I have?
Need to have 1 Sig Fig, so
1. So 300.
300 rods.
oh.
Can I ask a question?
Girl.
Yep.
Okay, so we're taking into consideration the 8 for the furlong, the 1
right.
for the rod, and the 0.025.
So,
like
Heather, slow down.
Yeah.
So what did I say about equivalencies?
Okay, yeah, so the 2 equal each other, the 1 and the 0.025. So we're only considering 2 things for the significant figures.
Are we?
Since the 1 is a 1 and then the other is separate.
Okay, are we considering 2 things because isn't 0.025 furlongs equal to 1 rod? Isn't that
Right.
an equivalency?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So what did I say about equivalencies?
they're the same thing.
That would only be.
So what? Think about it. Slow down again. What did I say about equivalencies? Did I say that equivalencies, we do not take equivalencies into account for Sig Figs?
You only
Like-
look at.
The whole,
No, equivalency. What is the equivalency? What am I saying is equal to each other?
1 rod to 0.025 furlong.
Okay, so that's a conversion. Anytime that you have a conversion or an equivalency, you're not going to consider that take that into account for your significant figures. So this is a conversion, right? So in this, so the whole thing, yes. So this part we don't take into account.
Okay.
So the only thing we take into account for our sig fig in this case is what?
8 furlong.
8 furlongs. So, and that has how many sig figs?
1.
Okay, so my answer should have
Ding, ding,
1.
ding.
160.
Got it.
So if it were to be 12 furlongs, then it'd be 2, correct?
that is correct. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, so equivalencies or conversion factors. So those things we do not take into consideration for sig figs, but we have to use them to sit there and do our equivalencies.
Okay.
Okay.
If you were to have, like, say that example, the furlongs on a test, those instructions didn't say to switch it to sig figs. Are you wanting us to switch every question that we have into sig
So
figs?
since you guys have been introduced to sig figs, you guys are responsible for sig figs.
So yes, everyone you want us to convert
Yes.
to a sig fig.
So from
Okay.
here on out, since you guys have been introduced to sig figs, you guys are now responsible.
Oh man, okay.
So usually what I do is I always deduct a point or so. Like if it's a pretty intense question, I'll deduct a point from it, but after a while, those points start adding up real quick. Okay, write the equivalency or the conversion factor for the following. So basically, I just want you to say, what is the equivalency for 1 day is equal to 24 hours? So how would you do that? There's a couple ways you can do it. 1 day equals 24 hours. Or you could say 1 day over 24 hours. Or you could say 24 hours over 1 day. Okay, so since they're an equivalency or conversion factor, we can flip them. We can put one on top of the other or the other on top of, okay? So what if I say my car averages 17 miles per gallon? How can I write that?
17 miles.
17
And then the wiggly
1.
line. Roughly.
Oh, you're saying, but it's per gallon. They're letting us know that it's per gallon. So there's no squiggly line. You would say 17 miles
Per 1 GAL.
is going to equal 1 GAL, right? Or 17 miles over 1 GAL. Or 1 gallon over 17 miles.
Yeah, are those gonna be like the questions we'll get on the exam?
No, of course not. I'm building you up here.
But would we round that up to 20 miles per gallon? If it's a sig fig.
Okay, what did I say about equivalencies?
Do not
Leave
consider
them
them.
alone.
Yeah, don't touch them. Leave them alone. I'm gonna have to put a shock button onto the Zoom, or something like that. Every time you answer a question like that,
Buzzard.
Okay. So if some of you guys like things in steps and really organized and things like that, this will give you an algorithm to how to go about solving these problems. One of the best things to do is read the problem. That's the first thing that you want to do. You wouldn't believe how many people don't read the problem. They just assume they know what it says. Okay, so the next thing that I always say, figure out what is going to be your given. What's given to you, right? Then figure out what is it that they want. Okay. And then figure out if you have equivalencies to help you identify that problem. And then it's like a puzzle, right? So this is what I'm given, this is what I want. So how can I get to that, what I want? Okay, so calculate the number of weeks in 672 hours. So
You divide 7 days into 672 and then multiply.
So you're just saying, gonna 672?
Yeah.
And you said I divide what?
By 7 days.
7 days. So if I do that, so I have 672 hours. So what my units are going to be days, hours. Is that what I want? Is that what the units I want?
No, you want weeks.
I want weeks, right? So I can't just skip over stuff and just, kind of plug in. So tell me something.
Wait,
So
you divide
first off,
4 by 24?
you said divide 672 by 24?
By 24?
Yeah, because there's 24 hours in a day.
So that's what I would do. Would that give you my answer?
No,
No.
because you're still working with days.
You
You
have to
work
put
with weeks.
7 days equals 1 week.
Okay. So I need to break this down a little bit, right? So let me think about my equivalencies, because all you guys are getting me in the wrong direction already. What is it that I want? What is it that I'm given?
You're given 672 hours. So if you put that over nothing, and then you're gonna put another line.
1 day over 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying 1 day
Equals 24 hours.
24 hours.
And then 7 days. So put a line.
And then
7 days or 1 week.
Week on the top. Yeah. Cross out now. Day, hour. Okay, multiply 672 by 1 and 1, which is 672, and then multiply 24 by 7, and then divide.
Is it 4 weeks?
It is 4 weeks.
How many sick days do I have?
3, so 4.0.
Piece of cake?
I think somebody asked this before. Are we always going to be putting it into Sig Figs?
Okay, the answer is yes. Because you've been introduced to Sig Figs already. So like in these notes, I don't introduce you to Sig Figs later, so my notes would have it there. But from here on out, you guys are doing Sig Figs.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
So let's do another question. Let's say we have
Please leave your message for 1, 2, 3, or at the tone. Please record your message. If you would like to try again, simply hang up. Goodbye. This is a classic. Hello.
Okay, so how many seconds are in 5.2 decades? I mean, 4.5 decades.
So 4.5
decades
over 1
years. So, ouch.
Okay.
Then would you go years?
There's 10 years and 1 decade.
So there's in 1 decade, there's 10 years.
And in 1 year, there's 24 months.
1 year.
12 months.
12 months.
And then
And in 1 month, there's 30 days.
Or should we put 365 days in a year?
Well, you could put 355 days in a year, or no, is it 355? No, it's
365.
365.
Because 12
Six.
months, they're not always the same amount of days in a month.
I'm gonna pretend.
And then
Okay. And
you have 24 hours in a day.
And in 1 hour, there's 60 seconds.
one hour is 60 seconds.
60 minutes.
60 minutes.
60 minutes.
And then 1 minute is 60 seconds.
Oh.
So 1 point. It's 419. 1 2. Wait.
Is this little e like the power?
That little e is the power.
So 1.41912 to the 10 to the 9th.
That is correct.
significant
So how many sig figs should I have?
1.
Are you sure?
Or wait,
Two.
no, 1. No.
2. Why?
Two.
Why not? Yeah, 4.5 decades.
3 SIGs.
Okay, so somebody said 3, somebody said 2, and somebody said 1. So what is the rule?
We do not take into consideration equivalencies and conversions.
Yeah.
So it'll be 4.5 only we are considering, which is 2. It's stuck, Dr. Henry.
Okay. Piece of cake?
No.
Oops.
Not really. Maybe if we do one more of these.
One more of these? Okay.
That was very complicated.
Well,
Isn't
that's why I gave it to you. If it was
That's
easy, then everybody would be in this
it's like
class,
lots
right?
of steps. It's
Oh,
that's
Homeworks like that, though, it's hard.
okay.
Well, let's see. I'll give you one more. So how many yards are in 3.75 kilometers?
It's a good one. It's hard.
So you start off with 395.7 kilometers over 1.
Over nothing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can put it over 1 or you can put it over nothing. I always put it over nothing because I understand that there's a 1. And so we want the units, kilometers.
KM.
Okay.
KM.
So,
And in kilometers, we need to find yards.
Do we convert it to miles? It's like 2.2 kilometers per mile.
so it's 2.2 kilometers per mile.
Uh,
2. Oh, wait, oh yeah. never
How are
mind.
you finding kilometers? Oh, I see it. Kilometer, mile.
Okay.
Okay, then feet, right?
And there in a mile is like 5280 or 5260.
So you said, I have to Google that one. Miles to yards.
And miles to feet would be, oh, we could do yards, yeah.
So 1 mile equals
How are we supposed to know that?
well, it's called Google.
Yeah, but on the exam,
In that situation, like since it's like miles to yards, I'd probably give that one. And it's not on my conversion.
Why are you giving us an example? You're Googling stuff and we can't Google on like an exam.
Yeah, that's why,
Because in real life, you guys are going to be able to use Google, right?
well,
And
yeah.
you're doing this for real life, right? You're not doing it just for me.
No,
I
definitely
feel
need it for the
special.
exam.
Don't worry, I feel
So you're
special.
saying that we can use Google on my exam because that's a real life then.
No, you can't. Oh, well,
Ah,
okay.
see,
Wait,
I got you.
hold on,
I got you.
Daisy. We can do that, right? We can do that. But then I guarantee you that the exam will be 50 times harder.
no, just leave it easy. We could just use our brains.
Let's
Oh,
just
okay.
remember how many yards are in a mile. 1760.
So then the answer is 400 and wait.
Is it 316, 560?
395.7 times 1760 divided by 2.2. So you said
316, 560 yards.
Okay, and the answer, final answer.
I got 1 million something.
316. Oh wait, 37 317.0.
We're going 4.
How many Sig Figs do we have?
4.
4.
We have 4 Sig Figs. So that would be 4. So then we use this number to determine if we round.
Oh.
317, no.
316, 6. I don't know.
316, 600, right? 316,600 yards.
Yeah.
part of me wanted to drop them off after I rounded.
Okay, questions, concerns, Cash?
No.
Okay, good. So one more for the road and then we'll stop.
Oh,
Yes.
Dr. Henry, can we also get it into breakout groups, please, after?
Sure.
Thanks.
So what distance expressed in miles will an automobile travel in 3 hours at an average speed of 62 miles per hour?
So you would do
So you're
3
giving
hours?
62 miles per 1 hour.
So what's my given and what's my equivalency?
62 miles per
62.
hour.
So what is my given?
62 miles an hour.
What is my given?
3 hours. and 3
Distance,
hours.
time.
Okay, I'll ask one more time. I heard 3 hours. 3 hours is my given.
Right.
Both given. 62 miles an hour is given also.
But is that an equivalency or a conversion factor?
Yes, you're right. So no, we don't consider it either.
Okay. So 3 hours. Then if we wanted to calculate our distance, then what are we going to use?
1 hour is 62 miles.
1 hour is 62 miles. So that means hours cancel out. And we're left with miles, which is it miles distance?
Yes.
So distance is what we want.
Correct.
Right?
186.
186.
But it's
Okay, so Sig Figs,
2.
is it just 2?
20.
There's 3.
How many Sig Figs do we have?
1.
And
We have
1.
1 Sig Fig, so what is our answer?
200.
200.
Why is there only 1 sig fig?
The 3 for the
The
hours.
3.
Because this is an equivalency.
We're trying to find out the hours, so then the sig fig for the hours is 3, so it's only 1, right?
How many Sig Figs are for the hour?
1.
1. Okay, yes. So we have only one Sig Fig for the hour, right? So since that's our given, then we're going to use that as our number of Sig Figs. This is an equivalency. We don't use equivalencies for our Sig Figs. Okay. Yes, no, maybe?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.